That doesn't look bad, actually. Yeah, it's amazing what lighting can do. Okay, so I wanted to make this video because I was watching an interview with Casey Neistat and Mr. Beast, and I just started to think about YouTube, and I just started to think about what the impact it has on the world and where we're going with everything in the world. So I made a statement on this channel a couple months ago, and it's been something that's been swirling around in my head for a long time, and that is, I have a goal that I want to grow 3 billion people. And that's a crazy goal. It's a big goal. It's an unrealistic goal. And I wanted to talk about my thought process behind that. So first, the reasoning of growing 3 billion people is because right now there's about 7.4, I think it is what Google said, 7.6 billion people in the earth. So why wouldn't I want to grow 7.6 billion if I'm growing billions of people? And it's not me who's growing them, and I'm going to get to that in a second. So the thing is I chose 3 billion people because A, it's almost half, and B, it's to signify the fact that I can't grow the whole entire world. The goal is to grow almost half and then have them grow the rest of the world and change the world. And that's the eventual goal. Now, let me take you to the thought process behind this, because saying a statement like growing 3 billion people sounds so incredibly ignorant. Like, it sounds like you're nuts. Why would you think about doing that? There's no reason to think about doing that. It doesn't make any logical sense. But this is the thought process behind it. So, I'm not going to go into my whole personal story of what happened in my life, but I will say through the certain circumstances that happened in my life, I realized that personal growth was the cure for me. No matter what situation I'm currently going through, different things right now, I realized that the constant focus on growing myself out of the situation or through the situation is what cures the situation. And I think personal growth, the ability to grow and make yourself a better human being, can change you. And if everybody were to do it, it would change the world. And so that's really what my goal is. To grow 3 billion people is to change the world. Now, I get, once again, growing 3 billion people sounds insane. It sounds crazy. So let me explain to you the thought process of this, which is still what I'm continuously doing. So the thought process behind growing 3 billion people means that there is failure, right? So let's take a look at failure. What is failure? What do you agree that failure is? How would we agree that failure is? So the way I look at it is I don't believe personally that there is a failure. Only if you just recreate everything and learn something from your failures, then it'll still be a success. But let's take a statement and agree upon that. So if you were to say that you had a goal, right? And you were only to achieve 1% of your goal out of 100%, would you consider that a failure? I would say most people would say yes. If I had a goal, it was up here, and I only achieved 1% of it, it was down here, you would say, hey, that looks like a failure. So let's do some quick math, and let me grab my phone. So if we were to do quick math, and I were to say, hey Siri, what?
Sure. Translate into which language?
No, Siri.
Okay.
I love Siri. What is 1% of 3 billion?
It's 30 million.
So you heard it. It's 30 million. So if my goal is to grow 3 billion people and I only achieve 1% of it, which we could agree upon as a theoretical statement is failure, and I only grow 30 million people, is that enough to make a difference? Is that enough to make a change? Personally, I think it is, because what I believe is that influence is the change. And how to influence other people is by, there's many different ways, but the subtle influences, the changes, the inspiration, the subconscious thought that there is possible change is one of the greatest powers of influence. So, for instance, my dad always used to say this, and it's very true. If someone were to say to you, hey, you don't look so good today, that thought is going to stick in your head, and you're going to go look in the mirror later on and be like, why don't I look good? That is the power of the subconscious mind. That's the power of someone planting a thought inside your head, and then you letting that thought permeate and ferment, and then saying, well, let me reflect on that later. So that's one form of influence. And I believe that my goal for personal growth, the way to influence, the way to consistently keep on growing the world, is through that same process, but to flip it on its head. Instead of being negative towards it, and we hear this all the time in the media, instead of being negative with that process of like, hey, you know, you could be failing at this, you could be failing at that, why not flip it on its head and say, you have no idea how powerful you are? Because that's the whole goal, to make sure that human beings start to focus on how powerful that they can be instead of what they are not currently doing. We all know what we're not capable of because we let that swirl around in our head every single day. But what about the things we are capable of that we're currently not doing? What about those things? That's why, for myself, I personally believe that the power of the subconscious thought towards something positive is something that can permeate through a generation. It's something that can actually give way towards freedom and to help change the world for a better place. So the whole goal of my Grow 3 Billion People is to change the world for the better. Because if you're growing yourself as a person, it doesn't matter what age you are, you can be young, you can be old. If you're growing yourself as a person, say, I'm going to be a little bit better today than I was yesterday, and you do that every single day, and those incremental growths get bigger and bigger and bigger, what happens is you start to treat other human beings different. Because if you're becoming better, then you're going to start to treat the other human being better. And that other human being is going to feel better about themselves if they're being treated better. And then that will influence that other human being, hopefully, to treat other people better. So it's really a domino effect. And, you know, when I say the statement like grow 3 billion people, I want that to be true so much. I want that to make the most systematic change in the whole entire world. I also, and I hate to use this word because once you really start to study the potential of human beings, you want to take this word I'm about to say out of the dictionary, realistic. I want to be realistic. I want to be pragmatic. I want to be almost, what's the word, negative towards it, to draw in the skeptics when they say this guy's crazy, he wants to grow 3 billion people. I can't grow 3 billion people. I probably can't do that in my lifetime. I say crazy things like I want to live till I'm 150. That's most likely not going to happen. But I say these things because I want to get my mind thinking, how can I live to 150? I need to start taking care of myself. I need to make sure I watch my diet. I need to start exercising daily. Things like that make me think more about how can I get to that goal. So when I'm thinking like, how can I grow 3 billion people? I fully realize that's something that not one person can do. I learned a very important lesson in life and that is one number of people cannot make an impact as much as a number of people trying to make an impact. And what I mean by that is that quote by John Maxwell that says, one is too small of a number to achieve greatness. The leader who thought that they could change the whole entire world and didn't include anybody else on his quest is, as they would say, a fool. It's a fool's errand. It's something that is not going to be, it's not going to come to fruition. the whole goal is to actually be able to help others and get everybody else working towards that same goal. So that's the whole entire goal of Grow 3 Billion. How do you do it? You be able to, you try to influence as many people as you possibly can, and then let them do it. And this isn't a goal that will, like I said, achieve in my lifetime. This is something that I can create a system that after I die, after I pass on, there's a foundation that is consistently growing other people, and then we're constantly evolving and changing and getting better and growing more and more people. This is something that I have to see that happens beyond the extent of my life. So if I'm gonna die at 100 or 150 or 80 or 90, I have to visualize what that looks like, what my goal looks like beyond my death. And obviously, if it's beyond my death, it's beyond what I can do. I can't do this. I need your help. I need the help of other people. I need this to catch on. That's why I'm writing the book, Change the World or Die. I want to change the world for the better. Too many times, and I was guilty of this myself, I watched the news, I watched even things on YouTube, I watched things on the internet, on my phone, and I thought to myself, man, just let Jesus come back, man. This world is going to, it's just getting bad. And I kind of accepted that fate and just realized that, hey, maybe one day it's all gonna culminate into an explosion of destruction, and eventually the world will end. And that might be true. We might be going towards our final destination. But if we are going towards our final destination, why not get better and live a better life as we head towards that final destination? Because the way I look at it is there's either two ways to head towards that final destination. One, you're getting better, you're living a better life, a more positive life, a more happier life, anxiety-free, worry-free, more confident, more fulfilling as you head towards the ending destination. Or you live with your head down. You live with worry, you live with anxiety, you live with fear, you live with a life of lack of self-confidence, you live a life that is just permeated by every single fear you've ever had, and then you just think the question of why even try? So there's two ways you can look at life and two ways you can live your life if that's the culmination of how this world was going to end. So which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose to be sad and depressed and angry all the time? Or are you going to choose to be happy? You're going to choose to live a life that it continuously gets better? For me, I think the choice is pretty simple. I think you choose to get better every single day. Why not? Why could it hurt? If some of the best moments in life are the moments that we share with other people. I consistently always find this as something that is so energetic, something that's so like even talking about it now, I think about the energy that it gives me, and I always am focused on how fulfilling that energy feels. When we have a moment, an experience in life that is unique and special, and we share it with someone else, or we share it with a group of people, there's a connection that I feel, but I cannot feel that in any other area of life. I can't feel it while drinking. I can't feel it while taking any type of drug or any type of meditation process. You need other people to connect on this energetic transformation, and that's when you're able to live a fulfilled life and share that with people. So the ultimate goal of growing 3 billion people is to get the world to share that, to start thinking better, to start feeling better. So let's say we are heading towards that downfall. Let's say we are heading towards the destruction and the world is going to end. What if we could save it by being better every single day? What if we could save it and think to ourselves how we could get better and how we could help someone else, and how could we give more love instead of just being selfish, instead of being fearful all the time and wondering if we'll never be loved? If we were to flip the script, if we were to approach the world with more love, with more compassion, with more empathy, with more self-accountability and responsibility to get better every single day, how would that change the world? How could we transfer that among all the people that we know, that we love, and most importantly, the people that we do not love, the people who challenge us every single day, the people that cause us frustration? How can we get them to change, to be open up to more love? Because that's what they need in the long run. This is the goal. Grow 3 billion people. I speak these words, I'm almost afraid to speak them, but I have the courage enough to say them that maybe, just by growing the 3 billion people, or the 1%, the 30 million people, we could start to think differently. We could start to think better. We could start to approach the world with a growth mindset and be able to improve on ourselves and improve on our quality of life every single day. So this is my challenge to you. Change. Be better. Grow more. Growth is the cure. You have power inside of you, and you have no idea what the depth of that power is. I speak from experience when I say this. These are things that will transform the world, and they're inside you even now. Pull from those sources. Use them every single day. It will change your life. So, in summation, let's change the world. Let's change it to be better. Let's change our lives to be better. Let's change our minds to be better. The real goal is to change the world. And if you're not changing the world, if you're not changing yourself, then you're dying. That's why I say we need to change the world or die.